Hello, Lou. We're recording.
Okay, here's the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to apologise. Through no fault of my own, we missed last week's podcast, and there is no excuse. Well, apart from the fact I woke up one fateful morning last week with a foot that looked like it'd taken on the role of a mishappened potato in a dramatic reenactment of the Vegetable Chronicles. Yes, folks, it was swollen. Swollen bad. It was red, and quite possibly harbouring a secret ambition to become the world's first foot-sized hot air balloon. I've been able to tell my foot left from right in this unfortunate condition. I had no choice but to embark on a daring adventure to the local hospital. There we hoped that medical marvels and perhaps a sprinkle of humour could nurse the horrible looking foot back to health. Now on the other half of this comic crusade, alone in the podcast world, in the podcast studio, Pete found himself in a situation more dire than a stand-up comedian without a microphone. Or a knock-knock joke without the answer. I'm finding it hard to get the words out, and I do apologise. These inconvenient circumstances are no excuse for missing this podcast. This podcast matters. Matters to everyone. All 16 subscribers. All 16. But this week, we're back. We're back for you. Welcome aboard.
Oh, mate, that was kind of sad.
That was I was going for the sympathy. That's really what it was for.
I felt kind of sad for you. Like it's quite a traumatic week, wasn't it? Last week.
Oh, mate, it was a nightmare week, to be honest with you.
So tell us a little bit more about what actually happened.
Basically, a couple of years ago, I was playing five-a-side football, and someone took me out, and I hurt my foot, and I went into work, and it was bad, but I didn't realise it was like hairline fractured, and then I carried on walking on it, and I probably made it worse. And then over time, it just went like a balloon. I had to go and have an operation. It cut open, and they like hoovered it out, and then like I think I like hyperextended my knee the other day, and I was like compensating, and I just brought it back. So, but I went to A&E in the local hospital, and I got there at like 1 PM, and I didn't get seen until 2:30 in the morning.
That's ridiculous.
And I was like, oh my days. And you just like want a cup of coffee or like, pat of crisps or something. And like, I was just sat there feeling sorry for myself. But it was weird because when I was in the A&E waiting bit, I was talking to a couple of people because you like bump into the characters, and there was like an old guy, really great.
Yeah.
His name was.
There's always characters.
Yeah, but the one lady, she was the nurse last time I was in hospital looking after me. She put her back out. She'd fallen over and hurt her back or something.
Jesus.
I was like, wow.
So we meet again.
Yeah, only in Wales. Like, oh, you mean this?
What have you been up to?
Yeah.
Oh man, that sounds terrible. It really does. It was quite mad because I actually texted Lou and said, look, I'm struggling tonight, and he said it's all right, I can't make it, and I was like, oh, where are you? And then he obviously texted us and told us about what was going on. I was like, oh, and he said it's all right, we can do it tomorrow. And I was like, no, don't be silly. Your health's more important. He was adamant we were going to do the podcast. He was absolutely adamant.
I wanted to do like a live one on Facebook from the hospital. I thought it would be funny. You could have just had random people walking past.
Just start interviewing random people. So, sir, what are you in here for?
The thing I couldn't get my head around is like when I went down to the orthopedic bit, they put you in like a wheelchair, and they wheeled me down. And then, like, after I got seen, they were like, yeah, catch you later. And I had to, like, they want me to walk back. And it was, like, quite a way.
Did they not make you...
I gave the doctor, like, a look, like, don't make me do it.
when you was in there, and did they? So you went in there at 1:00. There was that many people in there that they didn't see you, or that they see you, and then they said you got to wait for somebody else, or was you sitting there for like you was just not important to them? Because that's like 11 hours of
I don't think it's really not important. I think they are up against it, and there was like people are obviously going into the emergency bit. They've had like car crashes and stuff, and it's like life threatening. So they obviously get seen first. I wouldn't want to like push my way to the front, and go, oh, I got a bad foot, and there's like some guy who's like losing his legs, and I'm like, me first, because that would be the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, I know.
I just think it's just crazy. But the worst thing is there must be like a time scale. Like every now and then they keep on calling. They call your name. You're like, Lewis, and I'm like, yeah, that's me. And then you go in there and they go, just need to take your heart pressure again or whatever it is.
They're just making sure you're still there. That's what they're doing.
Because you've been here so long, we just got to do your blood pressure again. So you get excited because you think you're going to get seen, and they just like choke your arm off again.
They press the button, go, are you still here? And then yeah, I'm still, like you put your hand out, and they're like, yeah, so I sit back down. Just go sit back down.
They go, they always ask you, didn't they? He goes, you have to take blood, and they go, oh, we just got to take some blood. Do you like needles? Oh, I love them.
Absolutely love them.
Have they ever had anyone go, yeah, I love them? Stick them in everywhere.
Oh man, it's just crazy. Honestly, like I felt for you when you sent that picture through, and the size of your foot. I showed Key because Key had an accident a few years back, but hers was more through her own fault. It was a drunken accident. She twisted her ankle in the back garden. She fell off of our decking, twisted her ankle.
Oh no!
In a really but it went balloon size like yours. And she's like, "No, I'm all right. I'm fine. Well, she wasn't fine, and we ended up having to call an ambulance to take her to hospital because she was acting like it was broken. So we took. Luckily, our family friend was round. A friend of the family was round, so she went with Key to the hospital. I stayed at home with Josh and Liz because they were only babies at the time. So it was one of them, like the babies are upstairs sleeping, the parents are downstairs with their mates having a drink, and then they get carried away and then have an accident. So I stayed at home, and I said to her, "Give me a call when you're ready to come out." She obviously went to hospital at like 10 o'clock in the evening or something like that. Didn't come out until 6 o'clock the next morning.
Oh no!
And they went, "You've just sprained your ankle."
Oh no!
But when you say, go back to you sent that picture through, and I was like, "Oh my god, that was," because I know you've had issues before with your foot, and it's you've had it like across the course of the sort of the few years now. And you've had little issues every now and again where it sort of ballooned up a little bit, but gone back down quite quickly. But when you sent that through, it was bad.
I'm like one of those. I'm like I'm from the Shire, aren't I? You know, in the Lord of the Rings, got the hairy fat feet. That's what my foot look like. The funny thing is, as well, my doctor. I was like queuing up, and then when I got to see the doctor, he said, "Oh, come on through." And I sat down. And he wasn't what I expected. And I'm like looking at him. And he's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "You just not what I expected." He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you do look like you should be in a ring with The Rock." Because he was like, he actually looked like, what's his name?
Triple H?
The Olympic guy from WWE. What's his name? Oh, my days. You know what I mean? Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle, yeah.
Yeah, he looked like Kurt Angle.
He used to wear the American balaclava, the American lycra, American flag lycra.
And I said to him, I said, like, "You massive?" And he was like, "Yeah." He said, "Sometimes." He said, "You've seen our clientele. Sometimes I got to throw out."
So he's not only a doctor, he's a bouncer at the same time.
Yeah, he like fixes him and then kicks the shit out of him on the way out.
He turned up to A&E and he's at the door and he's like, "Sorry, your name's not down, you're not coming in."
And he was like, he was too cool because he dressed really well. And you know when people wear like the like loafer shoes with like no socks?
No, he wasn't.
All my life that you've seen like Only Ways Essex, and I was like, he's the guy you hate because he's a doctor. He's like muscly. He's big. He's like hard. And I'm like, why did they make all these superhumans?
Is he? Did he
Right.
have
and they throw him in your
chinos
face
on?
Yeah, and they throw them in your face by putting them in hospital. So when you're on your ass and you're in hospital feeling like shit, and they're there. Look how amazing I am, superhuman. I hope I hope he never listens to this, man.
He'll notice him straight away, and then when you go next time, he'll kick you straight out of A&E.
Yeah, you made me wait longer.
So what else has happened in the week for you, mate? Anything else big going on?
Loads is going on. There's just been some stuff I can't really say. It's like like non-funny stuff. But yeah, it's just been a crazy week. Just like go so quick as well. And then all of a sudden you're back in work, and it's kind of like I literally just want to sit in my pants and watch TV just for a day, just like get my head straight.
Oh, mate, you ain't got to tell me. It's one of them. It's one of them, and you sort of. Especially when you have something like that happen in your life where you have to go to hospital, and then the next week it's kind of like you don't want to do nothing. It's something mentally, isn't it, in your mind that you sort of your body goes, you know what? I just want a week off, or I just don't want to do nothing for a week.
I feel like because I'm all right now, and it was like a bit of a scare more than anything. I feel like I don't want to take stuff for granted though. So like everyone's like moaning in work, or they're moaning somewhere else. I'm like, life is great, life is great,
life's wonderful.
Anyone with coffee, life is great.
You're one of them guys now.
Yeah.
You've like you've flipped, and you're now like every day is amazing, and it's like, wow, a squirrel, wow. Yeah. Wow, a bit of chewing gum on the sidewalk. No, that's just a bit of a bad example. Mad.
Chewing gum on the sidewalk?
Yeah, you don't see that very often no more, do you?
How did you go from...
I don't know. I really don't know. I was trying to think of things in my mind, and my mind couldn't compute quick enough, and I just looked down to my left, and there's not even chewing gum down there, so I don't know where they come from.
I hope there's none in your house on the floor.
It's everywhere in our house on the floor. You just walk around, just throw it on the floor, just leave it.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So we've had an interesting week in our house. We spoke about dogs before, and we spoke about dogs on the podcast. But our eldest dog Bella, who's 9, she's been in season this past past 2 weeks. I think it is 2 weeks, something like that. And Albert, our little Frenchie, hasn't had his balls chopped off.
Oh, no.
So he's a little bit lively. But in fairness, he's so small and she's quite tall. Nothing's ever going to happen. It's never happened. She growls at him as soon as he goes near her. So you got that.
Not like her trying.
Yeah. So, but he is trying constantly to do. And you walk down the stairs, and they're play fighting. Then that play fighting turns into him trying to hump her head. So he's got his paws on her head, and he's humping it. But what's mad about it, and the reason I bring it, I mention it, is because like Albert is a really fun-loving French bulldog, like they all are. But over this course of these 2 weeks, he's like a demon dog. He does not listen to anything you tell him, or anything you say to him, or anything you do, or anything. He will not listen. He will just be like, no, I want to go to Bella. I want to see Bella. And he is, and it got me thinking that smell that Bella that must be letting off, the pheromones or whatever it is she's letting off. It's like crack to a drug addict. He's like. He walks up behind her.
Peppy in the pew, is it Peppy?
Yeah. And he walks up behind her, and he's like, and it's like a big sniff, and then he just goes, and he's like, and his eyes just go like massive, like his pupil.
That's animal instinct,
and it's proper you see all these things on TV about animal instincts, and well, we have to experience it every sort of 6 months with these two. So we've had Albert a couple of years now. And obviously Bella's 9, and ever since we've had him, and we keep saying we're going to get him snipped and whatever, but we're a little bit worried that his personality will change because he's a little bit older now. So we're sort of a little bit worried, and we was like, oh, we'll leave him. But we've got to a point now we're thinking it's not fair on him. Like, it really isn't fair on him. He is like, it's like just giving an alcoholic a bottle of beer when they've not drunk for a week, and then they drink that one bottle, and then they're just off the wagon, and then they go crazy.
I know, but you're cutting balls, aren't you? Do you really want to cut balls? Well, I couldn't, like, someone I know had the snip the other day, and they were like, oh yeah, it's amazing, blah, 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 and it's just a laser, and then you're okay after. And then I mentioned it to a guy in work, and he went, nope, not for me. He said, what am I about? Not for him. He had it done, but he went to the hospital or wherever it was to have it done, and he said this guy went in, and he sat there like absolutely crapping himself. And then this guy comes out literally like 30 seconds later, smiling and whistling, and he's going, oh, he looks all right, he does. Nothing to worry about. And then he goes in, and then it was like before they did it with lasers, I think.
Oh, scalpels.
When they literally cut it, and he said it was agony, absolute agony, and it was sore as hell after. And he said to the woman, he said, that was horrible. He said, how come that guy before me came out like smiling and all really happy? And she said, oh, he didn't have it done, he chickened out. I was like, I'm just not having it done.
So I've had it done. I'll tell you a story about I've had it done. And I'll tell you a little bit of story about the
scalpel or laser?
No, laser. So it's not laser, it's cauterized. They call it cauterizing. So it's not really laser, it's like a really hot iron. And
what if they so it's not actually like cutting anything, it just like heats it up.
Yeah, they're like so it's not really like a scalpel. They put a little slit in the ball bag, and then they hook the little tube out, basically, and then just like go and just put a cauterizer on it. Let me explain it, right. So I had mine done. This was born, and I said to Kay, right, I'm going to have it done, and she's like, yeah, okay, if you want to have it done, have it done. I said, look, I think it's right. It's the right thing to do. I said, because I don't want no more kids. I love Josh and Liz. I want to give them everything we physically can, because we didn't have a lot of money at the time, neither. And we still haven't got a lot of money now, but it doesn't. But that's irrelevant. It was irrelevant. And she said, okay. So I went to see the doctor. The doctors then had to transfer me to another place. Basically, they transferred me to this other surgery that's sort of down the road, but they can actually perform the procedure on site in this surgery, and they do it a week. They do it a weekend. It's like a little side job of a weekend. And you go there. The doctor says, "Look, are you sure?" They try and talk you out of it. And they give you a pamphlet. Have a read of this. Blah 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 blah. We'll go through all that. So
why is that? Why do they try and talk you out of it?
Well, because what they sort of say, look, is, do you want to do it? Because if you do it, and then say you split up with your partner, and then you want to have it reversed, because you can have it reversed, but it don't always work effectively. But you can have it reversed if you want to. But it's a costs a lot of money to do that.
Wouldn't that be like, though? You know, when you bust the hose pipe and it's like leaking, and then you cut it, and you can like
electrical tape.
And sometimes it goes like super strong. So then, like, what happens if you had it like rewired back up, and then it's like super plunger?
Well, so that's what he says. So they talk about all that, and they say, look, you might do this, you might do that, you might meet someone else, blah blah blah. And I was like, no, I'll be with Keith forever. I'm not bothered. I want to get it done. So he's like, okay. So he says, look, this is the date you're going to have it done. They do a little physical on you to make sure that you're okay and you can have it done, and then they give you a date to come in the surgery. So I got my appointment was like 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. So he says, I turns up this surgery Saturday morning. I'm sitting there waiting. No one else is in the surgery. It's like really spooky, and I can hear these two guys chatting in the background, like having a good old chinwag. And then one of them comes out and says, Peter. And I said, yeah. He said, come in here and come in the room. So I said, okay. So he sits down. They make you sit down on the bed, and then he says, right, drop your trousers. And basically they put this like white apron thing over you with a hole cut out on it. And then they basically, they pull your balls through this hole, and then they start to do so they do a little slit on one side. They as I said, they pull the tube out. They cauterize it. So they basically just slice 2 bits off the tube, and then by cauterizing it, the tube automatically heals, like shuts up, so it can't because it's like a plastic tube. When you put a hot iron on a plastic tube, it's like it seals the end up straight away. So does that, fine. Does the next one. As he does the next one, there's like this like explosion of juice. This goes, psst, and it's like, and the bloke was like, Jesus, didn't expect that. Like, and wipes his forehead, and it's like,
no,
you know what it is. I'm not gonna say it on like out, but I started laughing because I've never seen anything like it, and I was laughing. I was like, I'm really sorry about that. He was like, no, it's all right. It happens sometimes. Like, but he said usually you could tell when it's going to happen. He said I was quite taken back by it. Anyway, talks you out, and they don't sew you back up or anything because the holes are really small and they self-heal the holes. So someone had already told me who'd had it done and said to me, look, you'd need to take 2 pair of pants for you. So when you have it done, you've got support on your testicles and that. So they can't hang down. So I took an extra pair of pants, put them on. I was like, well, that was all right. I was sitting there talking to the blokes, and the blokes were going to me, oh, what are you going to do now? I was like, well, I'm going to go and watch Millwall, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, have a good day. And I said, yeah. I said, thanks for that. That was as bad as what I thought it was. And I sort of opened he said, right, as I walked out, there's 2 geezers sitting there. And one of them was laughing because obviously he could hear the commotion of what was going on. And he said, you know what, mate? He said, I want to thank you so much. He said, I was absolutely crapping myself. But he said, listening to you in there, he said, it's made my day. He said, so like, it's obviously it's not that bad. I said, it's not that bad at all. Obviously went out. The worst thing after it though, is about a week after, you're not allowed, or for 2 weeks, you're not allowed to do any serious exercise. You have to sort of like rest up a little bit and all that.
Standard for me.
And sorry,
standard for me. I'll be right.
So you're not allowed to do anything, and then you obviously later on down the line you're okay, and you just but it is a weird sensation. It's a really, really weird feeling, and but
does it feel the same after though?
Yeah, everything feels the same. Nothing feels different. Nothing feels like it is. Everything is the same.
But when bullets are fired, does that feel the same?
It's all the same. It's all the same.
Yeah, everyone gives me mixed messages. Like some people say it's different. Some people say it's the same.
Some people say it's like a machine gun.
I just got a vision of this guy having hooligan soup juice blurted all over him before he performs his procedure.
but do you know what I mean? It's very straightforward. Recommend to get anybody to get it done who like is thinking about getting it done.
There's a woman who did my mate though.
Yeah, I think there's a mixture. Like a guy I know who's had it done recently, exactly the same. He's had it done.
What if you got a semi though?
I don't know.
Look.
Let's change the subject. Going back to Albert.
Nothing I can do about this.
Going back to Albert.
You know, hang your car keys on it. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know. I
don't think you do because you.
It's different for Albert because you're going to cut them off.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. For a man, it's different. Like for an adult, human adult, is a different procedure. With an animal, they get cut off. All I could think about with Albert is him having his balls cut off, and the local dog's going, "Look at him! Like he's got no balls."
my dog does my head in sometimes because he'll do things. He's a sausage dog, so he barks all the time and runs around. He goes mental. I'm not cutting his balls off. he can be the biggest knob ever, but I still can't cut his balls off. I'd rather him be a knob than cut his balls off.
Well, that's what my dad said to me. Like, they've just got a new dog or new dogs, and they've had the boy done, and he said you should get Albert done. And I was like, I don't want to get him done. I like you. My childhood dog Sonny, he had it done, and it was okay. But he was a bit of a knob. He was a little aggressive little dog.
It can cause complications as well, can't it?
Well, that's what I've read things about it, mixed reviews, and I think it's like anything. Some dogs are different than others. Some dogs it's gonna be bad. Some dogs it's gonna not be so bad. It's really, really, I don't know. Like I say, we keep saying we'll get Bella done, like so obviously, because we've heard like with Labradors it can prolong their life a little bit more, but it's such a massive procedure for a dog at that age now, that to have that done to her, to like, so she can't obviously ovulate and all that, it's not fair on her.
It changes your character, doesn't it, as well? Because like it's all the hormones and stuff, isn't it? They're not the same dog after.
Well, this is why we've never done it, because that was exactly my thought. It's not the same thing, and I don't know.
Just be Al, wouldn't he? He won't be Albert, he'd be Al. The same dog. Call me something different.
Call me something different. Alan. Call me Alan.
Because Frenchies are not big. They're not big dogs, are they? So it can't be. I don't know.
No, they're quite small and quite.
I think we should start what's it called when you sign the petition thing?
Oh, what? Yeah, I know you. Yeah, petition.
There's like a website for it, isn't there?
Oh, like a crowd. Oh, whatever they call them.
Like a crowdfunding is when you make money.
No,
isn't it?
not crowdfunding, but yeah, I know what you mean. You could do an online petition.
Albert's balls.
if we get over 100,000 signatures, then he ain't going to get them cut off. Bless him. I do feel sorry for it. I do. But yeah, this week's been treacherous for him, mate. Like, it's weird because all of a sudden, like, there'll be a click and he will be back to normal. It's
yeah, because he'll hear you talking about cutting his balls off, and he won't ever mess with
but what I mean is that Bella will come off of her season, like fully come off of her season, and then but it goes overnight. So like tonight it could be fine, like it is now. Tomorrow it could be out of season, and then he'll be like, "Yeah, I'm not interested." Like he doesn't eat. Albert doesn't eat properly. He doesn't sleep properly. He like watches her all the time. His eyes are on her. She gets up.
That's the same with any male of any species, though, isn't it? Like the women turn us on and off. Because if they say jump, we just say how high, don't we? Because we're like lap dogs, kind of like.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. You are right. He's crazy. Just as and we've had that all for 2 weeks, and I was dreading actually doing this recording tonight, because you all of a sudden you'll hear Key shout, "Albert, get off of him!" or "Get off of her," should I say? I was saying to Key just before we started recording this, I said, "Look, I need to shut the door," which I do every week when we record this. But I said I was on the call earlier on Teams calls. I work from home today. I was on a Teams call to the new job that I'm working on. And because the trains have been a bit crap this week, I thought I said to my boss, "Look, I'm going to work from home all week if that's all right." I went in on Tuesday. It was a bit crap, the journey. So I said, "Look, I'm just going to work from home for the rest of the week." He's like, "No problem." He said, "Like, you've got plenty to do." So I was on a Teams call with the company that we're working for. And it was talking to the new sort of the opposite to me. So the other senior project manager for the project. And we're having a conversation about program, quite serious. And the dogs start having a punch up. They're not having a proper punch up. They're play fighting. But all you can hear is arr, 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 constantly. And I'm like, for God's sake, I thought I better shut the door. I blurred the background anyway, so they can't see all my stuff in the room that I'm sitting in, because you'll see like all my computers and everything like that. And I pushed the door to, but I didn't shut it properly. The next thing, it was like a riot come through the room, and the door swung open like a big bang. The door swung open, and as the door swung open, the dogs come rolling in the door.
Albert's here.
Yeah, like it was like Albert and Bella here. And as the door swings open, it smashes onto the desk. The desk goes poof, like a big loud bang, and the guy was like, "You all right? Everything all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, my dogs have just come charging in the room, having a play fight."
He thought you were one of these like illegal dog fighting gambling arenas or something, probably.
Yeah, it's the French Bulldog beating up the Labrador, as we said. The French Bulldog's hanging on to you.
I had a right touch with betting this week, though. Out of everything bad that happened, I think I wanted to put a bet on my football team. Only a small one, just for a laugh. So I signed up to this. It said like, bet £10 and you get £30. You seen those things?
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that seems like a pretty good deal. So I think I bet 10 quid, lost, but it gave me 30 quid.
Yeah.
And then I forgot about it. And then I went to log in on my phone. But you know, when the iPhones has this like face recognition thing to log into stuff?
Yeah.
And I logged in to an old account.
Right.
I had 97 quid in it. And I was like, touch. I just withdrew it and then logged back in the other one and had my 30 quid. I was like, what a touch. Said, game tonight, we're having a takeaway.
Just withdrew it all.
Whatever you want. You want chicken balls with rice and beef and black bean? Not a problem.
Gotta love a good one. I don't want to mention your football team on this podcast.
No,
but it was quite a controversial week for them.
You don't have to say the game or who it is, because I know it's not a football podcast, but it doesn't matter what happens in any football game. Whatever the ref says goes. It doesn't matter if it's 10-year-old or it's adult football.
I am 100. Do you know what? Right, regardless of what happens, I am 100% with that. The fact is that the referee made a decision, and the referee has to go with that decision, and that is it. I think the problem is nowadays. The problem we've got nowadays with football and all sports, actually, it's not just football; it's all sports. A lot of them are highly televised, aren't they? All sports, and in the heat of the moment, for a referee to make a decision or an umpire or whatever it might be in tennis, to make that decision is obviously a big thing, and sometimes they're going to make mistakes, regardless of anything. What happens, mistakes are going to happen. The problem is now, I think there's so much money involved with all these sports. It changes everything, doesn't it? And that's where the problem
thing is
lies.
As well, if they start, limelighting referees for like decisions they make, like it's not the first time it's happened, but the pressure that's going to be on them, then like, they'll be thinking to themselves, like, I go look at this VAR. Is this the right decision to make? I'm not sure. Like, you need to have a ref who's going to make a decision because it's what they think that decision should be, not because of what they think someone else should think it should be.
But it's just, and I agree with that. I 100% agree. It's the same with, I'm into my Formula One massively. I love my Formula One. I love my racing. And a few years ago, Lewis Hamilton lost the world championship in Formula One for a bad decision. The decision was made, and life moves on. Everyone knows what the decision should have been, but the official at the time made the call. The call happened. Hamilton lost the race. Max Verstappen won his first world championship, and that was it. Yes, it's brought a bit of turmoil. Turmoil was the wrong word, but a little bit. There was a few conversations, but the poor guy, he made a decision in the heat of the moment, rightly or wrongly. He made that decision.
Ridiculed for it afterwards,
and then got ridiculed for it afterwards, and that's not right. That's not right. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with anything like that. Like the referee, the game, your game, he's now in crap, isn't he? And he's like,
I think he's been sacked, isn't he?
Well, that's what I mean, and that's not right. Yeah. It's not fair. It's not right. He's clearly a good referee, He's made a decision. He's made a decision influenced by VAR, if I'm honest, and that's it. That's the bottom line. And the problem with VAR is it's VAR is not used, and it shouldn't be. It's not a football podcast, and we don't want to go on. VAR is not used in the right way, like NFL.
It's the same with boxing, though. Even like decisions gets made in boxing that not everyone agrees with, like count outs and elbows and people getting cut and like whatever happens. You don't have a boxer going, "Oh, I want another boxing match because I'm not happy with the way that one went." Imagine you had to replay a game. Like, where does that stop? Because you'd have every club going, "I want to replay that one."
Joke. It's an absolute joke, and that's the problem, mate. It's the problem with it all. It's frustrating as anything. As a sports fan, and I like a lot of sports. To have this sort of these issues, it's just a joke. You never had these issues back in the 1970s and 1980s with all these sports, did you? The people just like the result's a result. You move on, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? It's like the 1966 World Cup, isn't it? When England won the World Cup, and that ball, did it go across the line? Did it not go across the line? It's the Jeff Hurst moment. It's just
you didn't have them ask them to replay that game, did you?
No, exactly. They didn't ask them to replay that game, so it's mental, absolute mental. It's a crazy world sometimes. It really is, but. Yeah, so
there's lots of rules now, though, isn't there? Like I know, like it's a stupid thing to say, but like we got 20-mile-an-hour speed limits in Wales. You got like VAR in football. I never really got like traffic lights. So we had we had a laugh and joke about roundabouts before. One of the first, like, because in the States they don't really have roundabouts. There's only like a few places they have it. But at what point in time do they go? It'd be a really good idea. We'll put a post by you and we'll have like 3 coloured lights on it. And then what will happen is when you drive towards it, if it's red, you'll stop. If it's amber, you can go. And if it's green, you can definitely go. Like, why? And why, if it's nighttime and there's nobody about, there's nobody on the road and the light goes red and we still stop. And you wait there for like 60 seconds.
Mad,
and then you go, what's the point?
It's crazy. Are you trying to say that you jumped the lights?
Of course not. That would never happen.
Are you trying to get me to tell you that I've jumped the lights?
Of course not. I seen someone jump a light this morning though, and I was kind of like,
it's naughty though. It's naughty.
Call that the neighbourhood watch.
Key's a nightmare for neighbourhood watch. I'll tell you now, right? She talking about neighbourhood watch. She'll sit there in the sofa and she'll go, "Who's that? Never seen them before." And then she'll go, "Who's that? Never seen that person before with them dogs."
Only problem with like living in streets like we do is like everyone's got Ring doorbells now, haven't they? So when you walk down the road with a dog and you're going, "Oh, Dave over there's a tosser," they can all hear you now. They can stick these Ring doorbells.
Yeah, you don't know. Do you know what I was thinking about that actually? It's like we've got ours set up so it's like on the boundary of the drive, because when we first got it, it was activating for absolutely everything, anything and everything. Like a little bit of tumbleweed would roll past the house and the Ring doorbell would activate. So we've now set it up so it only really activates when people come near the cars and like come onto our bit of grass, if you like, down the drive.
Is it on your phone or Key's phone?
On both of them. We share it. You can share them, can't you?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you can share the account, so you can send a link. But that's by the by. Yeah, you can have it. But
is this on my? For us, I have to change that then, because for us, it's on my phone. But like, if you ring it, you can still hear it in the house. Can't you? Because that sound the dog goes mental to, doesn't it? Because like
on the TV, our dog's barking when it's on the TV all the time.
But like, if something gets delivered and it goes off, I'm in work and like this is the Ring doorbell, Amy answers the door, and then I go, "Run, run, run for your life! She's a witch! Run!" Which I think is really funny, but I don't think she thought it was.
We've got a guy, right, that does deliveries. I think it's for every. It might be every now. It's every. I think they changed, didn't they, from Hermes? They Hermes to every, something like that. Anyway,
I thought they did bags or something. Isn't that the handbag, Hermes?
I don't know, Hermes. No, I'm sure whoever it was, and he delivers all them parcels. Well, we use like Next and a couple of other places sometimes to get a lot of our bits and pieces. So he always delivers. So some weeks he'll have like a couple of Next parcels turn up and whatever. If we're not in, and he rings the door, I'm sure he does it on purpose. So he comes to the door, rings the doorbell, no one answers, and then he opens the letterbox and goes, "Hello," it's like as if to say, like, I know you might be ignoring me, so I think he's winding the dogs up. Anyway, he some days we are obviously if we're out and about and you see it happen and you get the notification, we answer it, and you go, "Hello," you go, "Hello, Derek," and he goes, "Mr. Maney," he shouts down the he shouts
Maney?
Maney. He calls me Mr. Maney. Don't know why, but he goes, "Mr. Maney," and then he go, "Yeah." He goes, "I've got a parcel for you." He's shouting like he's an old boy, so he's like that. And he go, "Oh, it's all right. Leave it down the side of the house, Derek, will you?" And he goes, "What?" He goes, "Leave it down the side of the house." He's like, "I can't hear you." And it's like, "Derek, if you can hear me, leave it down the side of the house." He goes, "I'll leave it down the side of the house." He goes,
He's just winding you up, isn't he?
and I'm like, this guy is just nuts. He does it all the time. Sometimes he presses the doorbell. If no one answers, you get them videos where you get people look into them and they move around the camera.
Yeah, man.
He does that all the time.
Oh, no.
He's a character. He's a really nice guy, though. I can't knock him. We see him out and about. In the local town, and he puts his hand up at you and he goes, "Mr. Maney." So he's comical. It does make me laugh. There are some characters. There's some really funny characters out there that just make you smile, and I love people that he's a really happy guy and he's always got a smile on his face, and I love them sort of people because they make you smile, and I really wish that more people were less serious with their lives and they were like that, because it's just characters in the world, and that's what you need in a day-to-day life, especially when life can be so mundane sometimes.
Yeah, just don't take things too seriously.
Yeah, he's just a really nice guy who just really chilled out, and I love it. Just absolutely love it. It's just mad, just funny, crazy. But yeah. So
you ready for Halloween?
Do you get your house made up?
Yeah. Someone in the street's already done theirs, and he was like, "They done theirs. Why haven't we done ours?" I'm like, "Because it's the
5th of October.
Only the 5th.
Do you go all in, or do you you're just a few decorations, and how do you go about it?
We go like a 6 or 7 out of 10, but then like Aim's mum and dad, they just go like full on. There's like spinning pumpkins in the front garden and all sorts of weird stuff going on, and literally the house is lit up.
It's mad.
And you go inside. You go inside, and like the one year there was this thing in the kitchen that went from one side of the kitchen to the other, and you clap your hands, and there's like a little pumpkin that goes from one side to the other side of the kitchen and stuff. Why do they Christmas? They just love it.
Why don't they do it in the house? So they let kids into the house.
They're like social people. They always have people over, and
fair enough.
Like everyone in the street normally goes over their house, sort of thing.
It's funny, really, because like when I met Key, I didn't really like Halloween. I never was allowed to go out trick or treating as a kid. My mum and dad didn't believe in it because it's like begging. They see it as begging, and I understand that, and I understand the reasoning behind it. And we never really went out trick or treating. We used to have a little Halloween party every now and again. They'd let us have a Halloween party. But they say when I met Key, obviously she was big into Halloween and Christmas and all that, and she wanted to get involved. obviously when we had kids, the trick or treating thing, you see them. She'd always go out and buy them costumes and all that. And then we moved up here where we live now, and as I said before, there's a lot of Americans around by us.
Oh, they love Halloween.
So houses are done to the max, similar to what you're saying about your mum and Amy's mum and dad. They are like that around here, and some of them are well over the top. And they've got all. The thing is, what's mad about it? They got all the American sweets. So all the little Americanized sweets that you would not see necessarily. You always know when you go to a British house or to an American house around here. The British house, you'll get like maybe a little Snickers bar, Mars bar, and all that. Marathon. Or when you go to the Americans, you'll get all these like different types of American sweets.
We can maximise on this, can we? Because it's already expensive, the American sweets. So I'll nip out there like next couple of weeks now. We'll just go around the whole close, getting all these American sweets and just sell them on eBay.
We could do, actually.
Earlier on. I haven't really thought of the podcast because it's obviously been busy and the rest of it. So, but then like someone came up to me earlier on who I know said, I listened to the podcast. He sent me an email. He sent me the marathon advert on YouTube. And he said, just listen to the podcast. And he sent me the email. I was pissing myself.
I'll get some. I've had some really funny comments from people about the podcast. It's quite funny that some of the things that people have said to me about how the stories and stuff. Obviously, some people messaged on the Spotify and said, "I absolutely love it. It's really good fun. And it's really good to listen to like people because it triggers people, doesn't it? Certain things we say." It will trigger. We spoke about something the other week, and that was it. When we spoke about the bars and that, Key come back the other day and said, "Here's a Star bar," and I was like, "Oh, thanks, Key." She's like, "Well, you said about it in the podcast."
That's nice.
But she said that she was quite funny, really. But it's good. It's really good fun. I do like it. But we should have to do what we'll probably have to do is. Do a live. We should do a live Halloween one.
Yeah, I really want to do a Halloween. We need to do like a different like thumbnail for Halloween as well. We need like a spooky one.
I think we should do that. I think that should be the plan for the whatever the date that whenever it's 31st of October in it. So if we try and plan it for around the Thursday around that time, we should get dressed up. We should be sitting in Halloween gear. And then we do a live podcast on our YouTube channel, and we'll post it on there, and we'll post it live on YouTube.
Yeah, we need some Halloween music as well,
and we can do that. I think that'd be quite good fun.
And it all has to be a Halloween related
talk. Don't ruin your Halloween stories until then.
Spooky.
Well, mate, I think on that note, we should end the podcast and we should wrap it up there. And it's good to hear that you're okay. I'm glad you're back on your feet. And
means a lot.
We'll get this one out and then we'll move on to the next one. And we need to get the banker in the bank. The banker in the bank.
Say that quickly.
Yeah,
I'm down. So just let me know. We'll do it next week.
Yeah. Thanks very much for listening, guys. We'll see you, or you'll hear us next week. Bye for now.
See you later, guys.